One of them goddamn songs I rapped on,
There
man.
it is.
Yes, it is.
And talk big shit on.
TV on the stand.
And now I got
damn.
the world hanging from my nuts.
Yeah, damn.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Boy. And I wrote Bushwick part on that.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Real gangsta ass niggas don't run from shit, cause real gangsta ass niggas can't run fast. This one of them ones.
All the way, bro.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. How we sound?
Good.
How we sound?
Check 1, 2. Test the mic. Oh, good.
Mic check. We're gonna run this. Quiet on the set. Now you can let that ride for a second though. Oh, this ain't in there. Joe, what we look like?
Good.
Rolling all around. New liquor line out. We got everything. Y'all ready? You ready?
Oh man, what?
I'm ready.
What?
Oh, okay, all right. Quiet on the set. We gotta
Man.
interrupt this for a breaking news bulletin. Chico Bean.
Yes.
I'm gonna need your help on this one
Go ahead. You
because
kick it off.
there's too much to say right now. The trap is being blessed by one of the forefathers, one of the godfathers. If you ever liked a song out of the South, you know exactly who we have in the trap with us today.
Listen, Los, I grew up in Washington, D.C., for those who don't know, but I grew up studying this man right here.
Come on now.
I mean, I've seen Scarface walking up and down Georgia Avenue in D.C. by himself, and it amazed me. And I'm like, where did this dude come from? And learning the Rap-A-Lot history, man. I'm talking about all the way down to, man, it's just so much to say, you can't even say it all.
The founder of Rap-A-Lot Records.
Yes, sir.
You've heard his name in every song you ever liked, pretty much.
Yep.
Been putting it down from Houston, Texas, since day one.
One of the most respected men in period, not just in hip hop, in just business and music all around.
Author,
Yes, sir.
record label owner, boxing promoter,
Yep.
businessman,
Yes, sir.
mogul,
Yep.
the legend, himself, Jay Prince.
Jay Prince. I gotta stand up.
Man, he ain't have to do it. He ain't even have to do it.
Yeah.
This is one of them ones where it ain't even nothing I want to say. It's so much I want to hear.
Man, listen. I'm talking about, oh yeah.
Oh,
There
yeah.
it is. Oh, shit.
That's the best goddamn introduction I had all day.
Oh, man, listen.
Come on.
Yeah.
You just don't know, like, the work that you put in and how you inspired us, like, to model our business after your independence.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Knowing where to draw the line and knowing where to negotiate and not negotiate.
Yeah.
Like, we followed you since we were kids and grew up on the Ghetto Boys. My dad had stomach cancer. They took out half his stomach. When he came out the operating room, first thing he wanted to hear was Ghetto Boys, my mind playing tricks on him. That's the one right there.
Oh my God. Speaking of them stories, when I was young, God bless the dead, my cousin Dirk passed away. And I remember being a little boy and they had, you know, the repast and the song that they played at the repast was "Now the funeral is over." Damn. And all the tears have dried up. Yeah. Niggas hanging deep in the cut, getting fired up, ready to pull a pistol on the nigga that shot my homie. And eye for an eye, so now your life is what you owe. I mean, just though that infrastructure that y'all laid down.
Yeah.
Like, did you know the entire time that you was gonna end up being what you ended up being?
Not really. Not really. I'll be telling the goddamn lie if I sit there and say I knew how it was going to end, but we was just keeping it real and authentic and organic, you know what I mean, along the journey. That was important to us. And one thing we always knew is real lasts forever. The lie got to keep changing. Yeah.
Man. So I know you got the book, you know what I mean, and I got the audio. We both got the audio
Yeah.
and the written part, but we're gonna have to get you to sign one today
Hey
if
man,
possible.
I brought a bunch of books for everybody that don't have one.
See, man, that's
Let's talk about it for a minute. The art
Yeah.
and science of respect. Like for the younger generation, what does that title mean when they hear that?
Yeah, well, I decided to name that book The Art and Science of Respect because I wanted, like a lot of people want your glory without knowing your story. So, I decided to name it The Art and Science of Respect because it was an art and a science to the things I've done. A lot of people say you're lucky, you know what I mean? And y'all know, like I know, you ain't where you are based on luck. Either
Exactly.
you fail a plan or plan to fail. And it was an art of science of respect with everything that, I accomplished, with structure. And the artistic part was the creative visions and dreams I had before they came into fruition. And the science was how to accomplish those things. You know what I mean? So that's why I named it that.
right.
Yeah.
And in the book, you talk. One of the parts that really stood out to me was when you talked about the loss of your sister.
Yeah.
And being as though a lot of us come from environments where we lose a lot of important people in our lives. Like, how was you able to, not just deal with it, but let it motivate you moving forward to become what you ended up becoming? Because that can break a lot of us down, and it does in most cases.
Yeah, with the help of my grandmother, we all have one.
Yeah.
She was real instrumental in that situation. Of course, that story I wrote in that book, my last night with my sister, she and I was sitting up late, you know what I mean, way past bedtime, talking about what we wanted to become in life and what we wanted to give my mother. And her dream was to buy my mother a vacuum cleaner. My dream was to buy my mother a house. And that night was the last night I saw her alive. That next day she got cut in half by a train, and I was left with having to buy the vacuum cleaner in the house.
And you did both
I
of them.
fulfilled that.
Man,
Yeah.
that's
I want to ask you this because you pretty much saw hip hop from the beginning all the way up until right now and everything in between. Where do you see it going at this moment?
I think hip hop is evolving. I'm not one to hate on what the youngsters is doing right now. You know what I mean? I think they are evolving, and I love the movement that's taking place. I think it's some things that we dealing with right now, and they dealing with that. They need to put more protection on their ass. You know what I mean? Not campaign so much because election day gonna come when you campaign, whether it's good or bad. You're gonna reap what you sow, and you can't change election day. Right at that moment. So I tell them everywhere I go, embrace your OG over IG. Somebody to share some wisdom with you, to teach you some things on how to live.
And I think a lot of that gets lost in translation because y'all laid that game down over the years. Like, damn it feel good to be a gangster.
Yeah.
Damn it feel good to be a gangster. A real gangsta ass nigga play his cards right. Real gangsta ass nigga don't run his fucking mouth because real gangsta ass niggas don't start fights.
Yeah.
Niggas always trying to high cap, telling all their friends how they shot them.
Yeah.
And real gangsta ass niggas don't flex nuts because real gangsta ass niggas know they got them.
God damn.
Now,
God damn.
That's the type of shit you can live off of.
Right, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, but that's so different than
Yeah.
what we see right now.
Yeah.
It's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
So, with you being a legendary man that you are in this industry, what do you think that message was lost in translation?
Well, they didn't hear that message back then. And the message could be lost where our generations are concerned. You know what I mean? I'll be the first to take responsibility, and I do in my community and in my hood. You know what I mean? But I think as parents, it's real important as parents that we put the real in our kids, because ain't nobody gonna do it the way we gonna do it. You know what I mean? So that has to happen. And so many people are unfortunate to even get the real poured in them. You know what I mean? Normally somebody missing, one missing, a boat missing, and then you come up with a whole different understanding on the principles and the values where life is concerned, and shit get kind of threw off. But I love them. I love that you know them goddamn lyrics. Like,
Oh, what? Man, listen. I can tell you, and then I got an unpopular opinion I think a lot of people have whenever I say this. I think Willie D had the best verse on Mine's Playing Tricks on Me.
Yeah.
Just because of what he was saying on there.
Yeah.
I make big money, drive big cars. Everybody know me.
Yeah.
It's like I'm a movie star, but late at night,
Yeah.
something ain't right. I feel I'm getting tailed by the same sucker's headlights. Is it the fool that I ran off the block? Or is it that nigga last week that I shot?
Yeah.
Or is it the one I beat for $5,000? He thought he had cane, but it was gold metal flour. It was probably one of them niggas, Willie. One of them. It was
More than the seat and grabbed the pistol.
for the sucker. Ain't no need to be lying. I was scared of it. A motherfucker.
I made a left at the
Popeyes and better die quick.
If it's going down,
Get the shit over with.
here they come.
Just like I figured.
I got my
hand on my motherfucking trigger.
But what I saw
Make your ass start giggling.
3 blind, crippled, and crazy
senior
singers.
citizens. I live by the sword. I keep my boys everywhere I go because I'm paranoid. It's like that right there. And then y'all was wrong for letting Bushwick Bill rob kids for candy, man. Y'all shouldn't do this. I was scared of Bushwick Bill, man. Every time I went trick or treating, I had a kitchen knife just in case Bushwick Bill ran up on me. It was
one of the best
terrible.
videos of all time.
Huh?
It's one of the best videos.
Oh man, for real. Like how much influence did you have on those lyrics? Because I know we know, you know, your background and what you did and laid down in the streets of Houston prior to you, you know, becoming enlightened and going into business. So how much of that was influenced by your real life?
yeah, I think a lot of it, even up to October the 31st, my birthday.
Halloween.
Born
Yeah.
on Halloween?
Yeah.
I'm the treat, not the trick.
Let that be said.
You dig it?
Yeah, but definitely inspirational, you know. Originally that was gonna be a Scarface song, and you know, I heard it and I couldn't allow it to just be that. So we figured out how to branch it out to the whole crew and band. Life changing for the South.
Was that like the one that really kicked it off for
Yeah,
Rap A
yeah,
Lot?
yeah. That was the one, like, you know, East Coast was monopolizing shit back then. You know, even in Houston, East Coast DJs, you know, they came down and just was, you know, handling us. And
Yeah, you had to run them out the city.
yeah. I had to figure out a way to do that. And from there, that song, you know, state by state, we didn't have social media. So I traveled to state by state and kicked in the door. There was that song that they embraced, man. Mind Playing Tricks.
Man, that's
Yeah.
great. Now,
So you're definitely the OG that everybody calls when shit going good and when shit going bad. And it's like, I see sometimes that they want you to embrace that role when you don't necessarily fuck with it. How you feel about when shit bad, people want you to do something about it all the time?
Yeah, well, you know, I don't embrace every invitation that's given to me
Exactly.
because, you know, I just don't have nothing to do with it. But for my loved ones, for my friends, for people who I fuck with, then, you know, yeah, most of my fights is for them versus me. Yeah.
So when did you establish that role in your life? Like, you know what I mean? Because in the book, you give a lot of game about your background, but when did you become that person that people knew that they could depend on in those type of situations? When did you know you was that person?
It begun in the streets. You know what I mean? It begun in the streets where, you know, you have to prove yourself. You know how that shit is.
Yes, sir.
Even from walking to school, you know, you have to start really letting one know that, okay, you got muscles, but I got a brain. I know how to think you. You know what I mean? So I had to figure out, being a little nigga, how to stop muscle from imposing their will on me when they felt like it was appropriate. And yeah, so that just like bled over into the real world once I was able to conquer some shit.
I agree, because them Texas niggas be big than the motherfucker. You go to Texas, it's
Corn
it's
big.
corn big. You know what I'm
So
saying?
what kind of shit does the OG ride around listening to now? Like, I know you've always had the ear for the hot shit,
Yeah.
but like, what type of shit can keep your interest at this day and age?
I've been riding on this honeycomb braids.
Come on, honeycomb.
Yeah.
No, what? Honeycomb? Man, listen, man.
Automobile,
Every
man.
time shit pop off, they get to say my name and shit.
Yeah.
Like, honeycomb, you the only one we can blame for this. I be want to trip, but I can't. Shit come with being a nigga for real.
Yeah.
Opposition, know how it bank. So they be sending the nigga. I go buy honeycomb braids, I get a nigga killed for shit. You know what I mean?
This nigga
That's how
he literally know every
I'm
song.
autistic a little bit when it comes to that shit.
That's
You know
legal.
what I mean? Yeah, definitely fuck with honeycomb. That interview he did was crazy.
Yeah, he got a very interesting story.
Yeah. Is that why is that how he came into your knowledge?
On your radar.
My son, Jay Prince Jr., embraced him.
Shout out to him. He be finding all the dope motherfuckers.
Yeah, Jazz.
Jazz
the
got
other
Drake
one.
and then Jay.
Yeah.
These niggas.
Well, both of them. Shit, they both get some props. They got an ear for
That's
this
real.
shit.
They come from my nut bags. So. Beautiful people.
That's the new name for my shit now. What's up with this nut bag?
Yeah, brother.
I had the opportunity to meet your, I think it's your oldest son, Mike.
Oh, that's my cousin.
Oh, Mike Prince is your
Yeah,
cousin.
yeah, it's
oh,
my
okay.
cousin.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, he told me a story about when they was young. You know, one of my favorite things to do when I come to Houston is ride the loop.
Yeah.
Just ride around, you know what I mean? And he said that you guys used to ride around, you'd get in the car with you and you just ride around that loop, man. So, you know, the city of Houston is beautiful, man. I love going down there. It's one of my favorite places. I always say it's the only place I live other than where I've lived already.
Yeah.
So what do you think the city of Houston goes in the pantheon of hip-hop cities?
Yeah, well, the city of Houston, that's where I'm from, and I laid the foundation part of where the whole South stand, you know what I mean, right there in the city of Houston. You know, that was the place, the blueprint was laid where independent record labels begun. Not the production deals and different things that they was getting on the East Coast. You know, that shit happened right there in Houston first, where I created the blueprint, where Master P, Cash Money, Tony Draper, you know, all the homies implemented. So, yeah, it's that special.
Yeah, man. Now, how do you just named all those people, man. You know, hate is something that is prevalent, unfortunately, in what we do. So how, what advice could you give people for not being a hater? Because you had all these guys that came up that had these big old empires after you, but they were motivated by you, and you still embraced them. You could have been like, man, fuck y'all taking my blueprint. But you ain't
Exactly.
Never, you know what I mean? You never did that. So what kept you from being that type of person?
Well, I think what kept me is understanding the power of hate. You know what I mean? Understanding that, that shit is like moment mentality. You know, I always been about a movement, so my whole objective was to inspire, you know what I mean, other homies from every state, every city, because I wanted to create a movement to compete with the majors. You know what I mean? So I wanted to breed the realness and the truth in these dudes so we could unite. You know what I mean? My objective was always about uniting power versus, looking at somebody in malice and jealousy coming out of my heart. That's cancer. That'll kill a nigga.
You always preach about independence. You've been saying it since long as I remember. Like, how does it feel like preaching the independence to the masses and only certain people picking up and hearing what you're saying or picking up what you're putting down?
Well, it feels good for those who have the capacity to embrace realness. You know, I understand that a fool despises wisdom, so I don't expect, the ones that hate it, then I say, oh, you're a fool. You know what I mean? So we have to understand that fools, is amongst the land of the living with us. It's just important to be able to recognize them and put them on the shelf they deserve to be on. Keep the shit moving.
So let me ask you a hypothetical, because I got to. So say the next Jay Prince might be watching this interview right now. What advice would you give him?
I would give him the advice to value his the chances and choices he get every day. You know what I mean? To value that and to educate himself and not practice bad habits. You know what I mean? These bad habits and the lack of education is what keep us in bondage. So if I could do shit all over again, me, myself, then first thing I would do is buy that art and science of respect. You know what I mean? And goddamn, get some game, because I used to hate reading. And now I understand the value of reading and sucking up game, you know what I mean, and wisdom, and executing it. Because it's one thing to make money. Wisdom gonna teach you how to keep it. So I want much wisdom as I can get. Wrap their head around wisdom.
So it's like everybody give you the respect and know that you the OG. Who are some of the OGs that you got some of that ardent sense of respect from? People that you looked up that were maybe ahead of you when you were starting out in the game.
My mother and father to begin. You know what I mean? I think they were more valuable in my life than anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because they told me the truth even when it wasn't popular and I didn't want to hear it. Because, you know what I mean, I was there. So I started there. From there, Larry Hoover, Geronimo Pratt. These guys are people I had opportunity to kick it with that, shared a lot of good game with me.
Yeah, you put game down for years. All them intros that you spoke on, and you always spoke on entities that bad can come when you put that type.
Popular.
Yeah, when you put that type of truth out. Like, what I know the story about the situation you went through when they tried to get rid of you, but like, how do you still have the strength to say, you know what, I don't care, I'm still gonna give my people what they need to know in regards to avoid these pitfalls and these traumas that I done been through?
Yeah, the lack of fear, the lack of like fear is something that I think the system bank on, putting in us to paralyze us, and I never embraced that shit. You know what I mean? I always felt like you have to be willing to die for something. You know what I mean? Are you gonna fall for anything? And certain things I was just willing to die for, and that was one of them when it came to like, empowering my people and not disowning my people. You can't take that from me. I'm willing to die for that. And also I believe if the Creator be for me, the world could be against me and I'm gonna win. So it's that mentality that, caused me to be like relentless about my stand and fearless where my stand was concerned.
Yeah, it's not a lot of examples of that, in the black community, that actually get to move about the industry and do and say that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, goodness gracious.
That's
it's I don't know if you know this, but I know you've been around a lot of different people, but for the guys that's in our generation that's a little bit younger than the younger guys that's out now, we kind of in the middle. But I know growing up watching all of the stuff that y'all laid down, I'm a big Pimp C fan. Like that's that dude is one of the only rappers that I ever looked up to, and being able to be around these people and knowing that your influence is what motivated them to be able to push forward. To be sitting here with you now is kind of like amazing that we've reached a point where you will be willing to come sit down with us, man. So shit is like, yo, you know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah, like we hear stories all the time, like the legendary going to the Bentley lot and with Pimp C and picking out his first one.
Yeah.
Like, just as hip hop fans, can we get a moment in that?
Yeah, I mean, Pimp was to me like the Tupac of the South.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? He was a special dude, man. And I remember when he was on his way out from jail, the plans and the brainstorming, that he and I would do over and over again because, Pimp was like a victim of so many of us when we allow different spirits to enter our body, not the wine or the loyalty, but other shit. You know what I mean? We can like allow different pills and different things or whatever it may be to enter our system, and then it got a mind of its own. So me and Pimp had opportunity to like plan on preventing that certain one forever having an effect on his life ever again. And I believe to this day that he kept his word, whatever's concerned. But Pimp was a unique individual, man. I miss the homie.
And he wasn't necessarily signed to you. I remember a DVD that was out that I had back in the day where y'all did an interview with Sway. They was talking about how you got in your car and drove down and met with him, and you know what I'm saying, and just sat down in the living room with him and talked with him. So, like being as though you have so many relationships, What can you explain that where people don't necessarily have to make money off each other, but still give each other game? Talk about the importance of that.
Well, that's what happened with me, Pimp, and Bun B. You know, when I when I heard him on the radio, I damn near burnt my new Lexus up riding to Port Arthur because I wanted to be in business with him. I know what I heard. But when I got there, they were signed to Jive and different things like that. So what I done was, y'all my neighbors, y'all the homies. I extended an invitation. If you have any problems, any situation where you need some wisdom or whatnot, call me. So that was the relationship that we had for years until Pimp got locked up. When Pimp got locked up, Jive Records didn't want Bun B to make a living without Pimp. And that's why I intervened and like crashed that contract. And that's how I was able to sign Pimp and Bun B to solo contracts. You know what I mean? Because, you know, like they do, you know, they'll try to put their foot on your neck if you allow it and you ain't got no fight in you. But we was able to break through that situation and bam, you know, they became my solo artists.
Man, that's crazy. Like just having the fearlessness, like you said, to be able to go at it with these big record executives. Like, do you get that same level of respect in those rooms? Because we know what you are in our culture, but when you walk into them rooms with them music execs, do they look at you and give you that same level of
Well, you know, they do and they don't. If they don't, then I'm going to demand it. And a lot of times with those dudes, you have to get real creative. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I read this book called Think and Grow Rich.
Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, and one of the things it explained to you in that book is how to use your power against powers, you know, of authority or whatnot. And when I was dealing with a lot of, you know, those executives, I had to figure out how to use my power that was in the street to balance shit. Because you have to understand, like, when you're dealing with those guys, you're dealing with people who have generations of wisdom, you know what I mean, when you come to the table. So the scale have to be balanced. You got to figure out how to balance that scale. If not, then, you know, you become their bait. So I figured out how to balance the scale. And where they made me uncomfortable, I made them uncomfortable. And we came together.
Hey man, it's just the smoothness of the way. It don't matter what they do. You know they made me uncomfortable, so I made them uncomfortable.
Now would be a perfect time to tell them, man. Hey, man, welcome back to the 85
South Show.
We are sitting in here chopping up game with one of the most respected men in the industry on earth.
On earth.
In our lifetime.
For real.
The real godfather of the game, Mr. J. Prince.
Now, speaking of that, man, you have a reputation that precedes you, of course, but you know what I mean? A lot of it, you know, you hear people talking, they be like, man, that motherfucker, don't ever make that nigga upset. Something might happen to you. What did it, like, and every time I've seen people talk about you, they always talk about how nice of a guy you are. And so where did that come from?
I can't imagine. You know, I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy, but you know, I will take a stand where the enemy is concerned. You know, I think a lot of times those conversations come from people who didn't pack right or didn't do right by me or by friends, and you know, I'm a thinker. You know what I mean? I don't have a bunch of muscles. I'm a little guy, so I'm a thinker. You know, where my mind is concerned, and I just know how to balance the scale.
You know, one thing I respect is you always have the same cool, calm demeanor. We never seen you out of character.
Raise your voice even. Like it ain't never you. It's like the level of respect that you get for. I mean, I can understand it because when you hear that voice, you answer the phone. Oh yeah, oh shit, hang up. Oh, fuck, I done did, nigga. But like yeah, like you said, how do you keep that demeanor? Being as though we know that you've been through real situations that you know, what I mean, can cause you to lose your temper and all that. Do you think that you grew out of that at a certain point from you know those things you had to deal with growing up in the Fifth Ward? And
Yeah, most definitely. I've evolved. You know, from my 20s, I was a damn fool. In my 20s, didn't care about life, you know what I mean, fearless to the extent of just didn't matter. So I became wiser, You know, I'm wiser today than I was yesterday. Yeah.
I see you branching out. You getting into the liquor business now.
Yeah.
I see you.
Loyalty.
Okay, let's talk about it. That loyalty.
Yeah, I decided to diversify my portfolio.
Even more.
Yeah, I have a loyalty collection which consists of the Merlot, the Cabernet, Champagne, Rosé, and I wrapped it all around a valuable name, loyalty, because what better name to toast to in any celebration where success is concerned? You know, it has to be some loyalty in the mix.
It's available for mass consumption right now.
Oh yeah, you can purchase it online at my Instagram, J Prince Respect, and also Loyalty Wine Respect. But I have 18 wheelers traveling around the world to meet the deadline, December the 21st, in stores.
Okay.
So all these years and all the liquor that came through the hip hop community, why now versus?
Well, you know, my timing don't depend on everybody else's timing. You know, it's a time and a place for everything, and it's appropriate for me to do it now. You know what I mean? Now, if I wanted to move accordingly to when it was inspired, Puffy, you know what I mean, tried to get me to move on it years ago, but that was his time.
Right.
You know what I mean? My timing is now, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Speaking of timing, you might not even be aware. This is our 5-year anniversary. Just you think we were just talking, but just like you said, following the blueprint, like you called it. 5 years independent, over 300 million views, almost 2 million subscribers, and we dropping the show every Friday. So just for you to stop through here and just bless us with the game and the knowledge, the presence, the energy.
That means
something.
So much.
That means that our independent grind means something.
And that you
what I mean?
noticed it. You know what I mean? Like to be on your radar. Like you have reached a level to where you know what I mean, you done ascended to heights that most people would never even be able to begin to think about reaching. So like I said, to be able to be on the radar of somebody who has accomplished as much as you have is beyond a blessing, man. And
still inspiring me to this day because I heard so many good things about the ranch.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my ranch.
Yeah, I can dig it. I appreciate, the feeling is mutual. I appreciate y'all thinking enough of me to have me here. You know what I mean? So,
That's
you said no to that. If Jay Prince want to talk to y'all, man, I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
What we do?
I'm straight. You know what I mean? But I know that you had the car lot too, and Los, you into the whips like so.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
of course.
Like, and I see that being something that he do. So like, what got you into that? You know what I mean? The wanting to own a car lot, not just buying them, but wanting to have one.
You know, that car thing begun when I was like 7 or 8. My cousin had like a bunch of model cars on the dresser, and I couldn't afford model cars. So every car that he had on the dresser, I used to like envision myself buying that car one day. So I purchased every car that I dreamed about. But what ultimately happened was a girl I was dating, Jazz's mother, her daddy was a car salesman. And I'm out there hustling, so I was looking for ways to diversify. And that's one of the things that I done was open up a car lot.
That story that's in the book about the police following you through the McDonald's and all that crazy shit. That shit is so crazy how you done had experiences like this, and then it's like, well, fuck it, just move on.
Right. Yeah. No, that was actually that was a DPS that stopped me for the DEA.
Yeah.
You know, the first time I ever been stopped and told to go to another place and stop.
Yeah, see, that story is so crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Then was that the same time where they tried to throw the Viagra pill or whatever the fuck it is?
No, that was a different time.
That was a different time. That's crazy.
Yeah, like, these people right here was hitmen. This dude had 8 bodies.
Shoemaker.
Yeah, Schumacher and Chad Scott. Well, Schumacher, they killed 8 people, like real dead people. And they put him on me, you know what I mean? So when they was asking me to go in that dark spot that night, then why you want me to pull in the dark, right? If a man then kill 8 people and asking you to pull in the dark, what would you think?
Shit.
Yeah, Shit. Fucking with you, they see they ain't tripping. You should have got their ass back. Now wait till your kids go trick or treat and stick Bushwick Bill on their ass. Run up on them and take their candy. That's crazy that going through that though. Like, you know what I mean? Most people just go at it with dudes in the streets. You really can say you done had the government.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
know what I mean?
that's what I was gonna ask you next. Like, what was that meeting, that infamous meeting about? With starting a new bunch of black record labels and things of that nature.
Oh, the Suge and Irv Gotti meeting.
The infamous meeting.
We was trying to create a black-owned distribution company, so the homies after us would have an outlet to be able to do things a little smoother. But as we all know, the feds hit Murder Inc., they hit Death Row, and you know what I mean. They attempted to take me out. So there wasn't no conspiracy where that was concerned. That was a design on hitting us simultaneously the way they did.
Man, that's crazy to be able to come through all of that. Now, with all of that, you a father, you know what I mean? And like you said, that your nut bag didn't produce some niggas that's winning. But as a father, you know what I mean, I ain't gonna say struggle, but it's like I always try to find the best ways to figure out to offset the time that my child loses by me being out here trying to create a legacy for her, you know what I mean? So how did you manage that back then?
Well, let me say this first. I got 7 kids. Everybody I hug got pregnant.
Damn.
No
more hugs.
Right.
We don't hug no
shake
more.
my hand, nigga. Fuck around.
They was all women, though. They was all women.
Yeah.
But, that was important to me. That was important to balance that situation. It was a situation where I could have made more money by embracing opportunities and shit like that, but I never put any of that before that big day, that big celebration that my kids was having on certain days. So even though I couldn't make it to everything, those big occasions, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna let them see me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna make that time over money. And I think as a parent, we have to balance that out the best way we can.
That's it. Yeah. And I also saw you say that, when it comes to your empire and the things that you built, you know what I mean, in the interview you did, you said, well, if I can find somebody who may not carry my bloodline that is more beneficial to continuing the legacy, then that's what I'm going to do. Like, is that something you always instilled in your children growing up? Like, this shit ain't just going to be yours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, I explain that to them every inch and yard of the way, because blood make you kin, loyalty make you family. And I wouldn't dare, put my legacy or whatnot in unqualified individual that then showed me why I'm alive. You're unqualified, but I'm gonna put everything in your hand because you blood and destroy it for, everybody else. I can't do that. So it's deeper than blood with me. I wanna see the proof why I'm alive. You know what I mean? That you qualified to keep the legacy going, where everybody will benefit. So that's the way I feel about that.
Let me ask you this, Jay. What's the longest break you ever took from this industry?
I don't necessarily have to take a break because I love what I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I do everything with balance. I was able to create a lifestyle like all my life, man. When I was waking up in the morning, I hated waking up in the morning, walking to school. So my objective was to create a lifestyle where I can wake up when all the sleep is out of my head. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking this way. I don't want to wake up for nobody on, you know what I mean, when I want to wake up.
You know, nobody time.
Yeah, so I created a lifestyle to be able to live that way. So it ain't no pressure. In the beginning, I will say, I had to make sacrifices. I stayed up 2, 3, 4 days in a row grinding to be able to live like I'm living right now. So in my 20s, 30s or whatnot, I laid the foundation. I made the sacrifices to be able to live the life I live today.
That's what it's all
That's
about.
what it's about.
Setting yourself up.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Setting yourself up for the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you being at this point, like, what motivates you now, like, to keep on? Because you I mean, you did everything that you can do. I mean, as far I'm sure you said you've accomplished all your materialistic goals, and you know you've instilled in your children what was necessary, and they've shown that they have the ability to go out and continue the legacy. So, what motivates you to keep on pushing?
Yeah, family, friends, you know what I mean? Situations like this, you know, where I'm an inspiration to others I may not have never met in my life. You know what I mean? That means something to me. It means something to me to where people ain't got to hold their head down where my name is concerned. You know, where I can uplift my people. That's one of the reasons I wanted to write that book. You know, I didn't want to leave and cross over and not leave a blueprint or share, you know, my way, my ingredients of doing things, you know. Whether one use it, two use it, all of it is meaningful. So, you know, I get off on that. And I get off on just the whole game. I'm competitive, so I like to win. You know, it ain't even about the money no more. It's just about the game and winning. Yeah.
What would you tell a brother who, like you said earlier, he might not be in the ring just yet? Why would he need to pick up this book? What do he need to get from this?
Yeah, well, one of the things that they say, if you want to hide something from a nigga, put it in a book. And I would say to him that it was a book that like really caused me to tap into powers that I didn't even know I had. You know what I mean? I didn't even know I had these gifts. I didn't know they was gifts.
Right.
I didn't even know the power of prioritizing, of setting goals, of having structure. You know, I had all the science in the world to do different things, but I didn't know how to structure it. And in this book right here, you know what I mean, you able to tap into my wins, my losses, everything that happened in between. And you're going to see yourself on one of them pages. And I think you're going to be inspired.
Now, this is the craziest shit ever, right? You know, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones just had the exhibition. People don't even know you was trying to put that fight together years ago.
Yeah.
When you saw that, what was your immediate reaction?
You know, I was happy for him. I was happy for him because, you know, I felt like the payday, they could use it. And, you know, my only hopes was that they left out of the ring the same way they came in the ring.
Okay, check this out, man. People think we're just doing ads to be doing ads, but this is one that we actually use. You know how you be up late at night and you want to go to sleep, but you can't? It's this app called Calm, like calm down, calm.com. And I got the promo code where you can get up to like 40% off an exclusive membership if you go and subscribe to the app. For listeners of the show, Calm is offering a special limited time promotion of 40% off a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/85South. They got all these meditations and calming sounds that will make you go to sleep and you can actually start getting some rest. So go use the promo code 85South and get up to 40% off a subscription and have access to the whole library. They got stories on here, and that's like they got people who read you a bedtime story in a common voice. Bro, they got Kelly Rowland on here, man. Kelly Rowland? You can actually have Kelly Rowland like talk you to sleep. You know who they should get? Tabitha Brown, but that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. Go to calm.com, use my promo code, and subscribe so you can go to sleep. You know, like some ocean sounds, or maybe like crickets in the grass, rain on a rooftop, ocean views. I don't know if that's a sound, but it can sound like the ocean. Thunderstorms. I like the thunderstorms for me, myself, personally. But yeah, make sure you go over there and meditate, go to sleep. They got music, calm.com/85South. Use the code.
But it definitely was a situation that we all met out there on my ranch like years ago. And we agreed to put that very fight in play when it could have definitely been on another level.
Bigger scale.
Ooh. Yeah, but Roy, you know, he had decided to take the fight with, what's my man name?
Ruiz?
No, Tarver.
Oh,
he decided, yeah.
Oh, God damn.
And, that night didn't go well.
No. That was the worst shit ever.
Yeah,
man.
we went
That
pretty bad. You
ruined
put
me,
that one
man.
in the book.
Yeah, that
one-
ruined me, man. I remember seeing that shit, and then he said that shit. You got any excuses tonight, Roy? And then I thought Roy passed, man. That shit was fucked up.
How long you been in the, a fan of the boxing game?
Right.
Oh man, that was my first love.
That's my favorite
You know what
sport
I mean?
too.
That's the boxing thing was I got distracted by the music game. You know, boxing was what I wanted, and that's why I built a boxing gym, a recreation center in my community, because wasn't no gyms I can go to as a kid, and that's what I wanted to do. So yeah, I love boxing, man.
Did you ever take up the sport yourself?
No, it wasn't no gym in the hood. You know what I
just
mean?
fought niggas on the street.
Yeah, plenty of that.
Wasn't no jail. We was gonna whoop your ass in front of this liquor store, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Plenty
That's
of that,
crazy.
boy.
Now, like I said, I'm a fan of boxing. I took on the sport as a young man, and the contact of it is beautiful when you really get into it. But who was somebody that you saw that you knew was gonna be a star that you didn't get to work with that you wanted to in the boxing game?
Recently, my man, what is his name, from Dallas?
He just fought.
Just fought. God damn, I'm forgetting the home and that Spence. Errol Spence.
Errol Spence, yeah.
Errol Spence. You know, I rode all the way down to the UK when he was fighting in the Olympics. You know what I mean? I wanted to get him, and by the time I made it there, he had already lost and bailed out. But I knew he would be special when I saw him, years ago. But I had a future star, many of them right now. But I don't know if y'all saw Shakur Stevenson
Yeah,
fight
I know Chico.
the other night. Yeah, but Floyd Mayweather on steroids.
That's a hell of a statement right there.
I got another rap fan question, right? You Houston, Texas, home of DJ Screw. That's one of the, that's part of the Houston culture. Jay Prince riding, right?
Yeah.
If you were listening to a screwed up song, do you have a favorite DJ Screw record or a song that you like to hear screwed up?
Yeah, draped up and dripped out.
That's your one. Yeah. Okay, I had to ask. See, this is the type of shit you don't never get
you
to
don't
ask.
get the opportunity. So what was that like when that came out? Like, cause you was already established when the screw music hit. Like, so what was that like when you heard it the first time? Was it like the way that you felt when you heard Drake? Like, fuck this shit? Or was it something you
To a
embraced?
certain extent. I was like, what the fuck they doing? You know what I mean? This shit is on drag mode or something, I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? I wasn't drinking syrup, so I didn't understand what was happening, but real quickly I tapped into it and started, I joined the movement.
And then Houston's so big, man. I remember my first time going to Houston. Me and Los, we had a show down there. We in Fridays after the show, and there was some girls in there having a birthday party. We thought it was a birthday party, and we walked over. They was fans, and we took pictures. We was like, "What y'all got going on? Are we having a going away party?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, where you moving to?" She was like, "The North Side." I was like, "You having a going away party when you moving in the same city?"
Yeah, her friends was like, we ain't never gonna
We
see
ain't
her.
never gonna see her again. I'm like, damn. And then this was before I got a chance to actually come to Houston and see how big the city was. You know what I mean? How big it is. And like, you from the north side, and a lot of the people that you worked with was from the south side, and it's known that was a disconnect throughout the years. So how were you able to bridge that and make it work?
Well, I ain't never discriminated on where I got money at, and I had the relationships prior to the music business all over the city. You know what I mean? So it was something that was already taking place. I just drove through the trails that I had already blazed, and I wasn't trying to hear none of that. So that's the way that came about. Yeah.
I'm trying to hear none of that. I respect it.
Because being brought up Drake, can we talk about how Drake eventually got signed? I know you had a big part in that.
Yeah, for sure. Lil Wayne and my son was on tour together, and I called my son one day and I told him, I'm like, dude, I don't want you having access to this power and coming home broke. This ain't about you just being on tour, trying to screw as many girls as you can screw. I said, go to Lil Wayne and tell him you want to do a joint venture record deal with him, and hit me back and let me know what he say. And he called back excited because Lil Wayne embraced the opportunity. And it was then that I asked him about Drake. I said, well, who your first artist? And that's when he mentioned that name to me for the first time, Drake. And he played me some Drake. And I tried to discourage him about Drake. I'm like, man, you like this?
Yeah, right. You about to fuck the legacy up. Remember what I told you, nigga. You don't get none of this shit, you fuck it up. It's over for you.
Yeah. And he stood on all 10, right? He said, Dad, it's the new sound. Trust me on this one. And then he used that word I had taught him since he was a little boy in the marketing meetings, the importance of a buzz. He buzzing. And that's when I decided to jump all the way in, and we brought Drake in. Wayne came in and sent him on tour with him. I say, now take Drake on tour with you and let Lil Wayne put his arms around him on stage. And that was the history. Rest was history.
Still being made.
Right now. I mean, arguably, you know, is going to go down, when it's all said and done, to be keep on this track and on the Mount Rushmore of rap. You know what I'm saying? And you have a hand in that too. So it's like, do you feel like, you know what I'm saying, the accomplishment more from the things that you've accomplished or the things that your sons have accomplished?
It's a combination. You know what I mean? It's a combination. It's real special to be relevant today. You know what I mean? And back then as well. So, you know, we won. So, yeah, man, it's just been a beautiful journey.
What would you say is your biggest accomplishment if you had to pick your biggest accomplishment at this point right now?
Personally, it would be my kids, my family. Business-wise, it would be the foundation that I helped lay where the South is concerned. You know, I'm real proud of that because, you know, I was there and I understood, you know, the things that one had to go to for this day to exist. You know, they weren't trying to give it to us. You know, that's why I say the East Coast a piece of bread, West Coast a piece of bread, we the meat. They can't have a sandwich without us. You know what I mean? Not a real chewy one. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Everybody got one. The whole
it's
room
all
like,
good.
shit, I got one.
I got one, man. What happened?
Ooh, shit, man, he right there.
A lot of people don't know that the Ghetto Boys didn't even know each other before you put them together.
Yeah.
When you talk about that, I definitely know our 85% is going to know about that.
Exactly. Rest in peace, Bushwick Bill, DJ
Yes,
Ready
we
Ready.
had a chance to meet Bushwick, man.
Yeah.
Real good dude, man. And he knew who he was, which was mind-blowing.
Yeah, Bushwick was that way, encyclopedia. But definitely they was all strangers. Nobody knew each other. I shook the city inside out and tapped into these three personalities that I wanted to come together as the Ghetto Boys. And I had a plan because I had just got rid of the other set of Ghetto Boys because they told me the subject matters that I wanted to speak on was too deep. So I'm like, okay, y'all get y'all ass away from me. And I was able to tap into the others, and we, you know, just like reiterated that movement that I had already started, and the rest was history.
Yeah, but when you say you shook the city upside down, like, why them? Why those three? Like, what did you hear that made you know that Scarface, Willie D, and Bushwick was the combination?
Because I'm going to tell you when I knew. When they made that album cover and Bushwick had his eye fucked up and he was, that's the type of shit back in the day that'll make you, even if you never heard of the Ghetto Boys, you pick up that shit, you want to know what the fuck was said on there.
And how did these niggas
Is
get
this,
in the
because this is
hospital?
before makeup.
Right.
It's like, you know, fucking Michael Jackson shit wasn't this good.
Yeah.
This got to be real.
Yeah, and they was rolling them through the hospitals, and they was like, fuck the doctors, nigga, we got them.
And then I had to get grown to figure out, damn, that was real.
Yeah, yeah, but no, I knew that because of what everybody brought to the table. It was something that was different and unique, you know what I mean? And it wasn't a situation where they was imitating, you know, nobody. So I respected that everybody had their own thing, and I just brought that shit together and put it in the gumbo, and bam, you know, turned out to be what it was. But as far as that, when Bushwick got shot in the eye, You know, when he say he's finna throw that girl baby out the window, you know what I mean? And he had the gun and cocked it. I kind of think that gun may have went off. She didn't quite shoot him in the eye. You know, Bushwick used to drink that Everclear.
Yeah, that's some strong shit.
Damn.
Yeah.
Straight?
Yeah, straight.
God damn, no wonder. I'm glad I kept that kitchen knife. That
Let me
nigga
ask you this.
definitely took my bag
It's
of
like,
candy.
see, that's the type of calls that you get when shit like that happen. So it's like, do you ever just say, man, I ain't in the mood to deal with this bullshit right now? Like, people calling your phone all night with shit like this.
Yeah.
You know, that shit can be stressful. Like, every time you answer the phone,
Somebody, I need you, Jay, man.
Jay, I need, Jay, please, man.
Please, my chain, man. They got my chain.
These
Somebody
niggas
got my
we in
chain,
the club,
man.
these niggas won't let us out, man. They done locked the
My
door.
goddamn chain,
the
man. They
promoter
got
ain't
that
the
chain,
money.
man. Please,
Man,
Jay.
somebody wake Unc up.
Man, please, man. That's my chain, man.
Man, my bitch pregnant. Come on, Unc, please. Just,
I mean, I hear him, but my chain, man. They got that chain.
Unc, I've been calling you all goddamn night, man. Please, man. Please, before the sun come up and these niggas get on
My
Instagram.
chain. Don't let them know they got my
Please
chain,
don't let these
man.
niggas know, Unc, please.
What do you do? Like, that's a great question.
That's on
Like,
one
how do
line,
you
then
do
the
it?
other line, like, man, please, hey, dude done shot himself, man. You gotta come down. That's on a whole nother line.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it depends on if I fool with you or not, you know, because that should be so plentiful until you can't answer all them calls or you can't even respond with all them invitations.
Right.
But if you family and friends, then we're gonna make something happen.
How do you establish who family and friends are, though? Because I know everybody want to be your friend or family, especially when they know that you do what you do. So how do you navigate? What, you know, if you can give that out, what's your process of being able to look at somebody and say, you worthy of my time? And
Right, how do you, like, don't just be asking me because you know I can. Like, this is legit, you know what I'm saying, family matter.
Trust is something that's earned, you know, you don't just get that away. And during time, trials, and error, whatnot, you're able to, you know, establish bonds with some, and then there's others that's close to people that, you know, I love, and that's enough. You know what I mean? So it can be indirectly, and if, you know what I mean, you're good with family, then we're gonna put some shit in motion.
Make something happen.
Yeah.
man, it's probably been so long since somebody tried this nigga. It's the 80s. You know what I'm saying? They ain't had no problems of your own like that. And so you dealing with everybody else's issues. Like, how do you get to a point where, like, what do you put on those people whenever somebody has an issue or somebody call you with something? Like, is it just automatic, all right, I handle it for you, or do you say, all right, well, what did you do? You know what I mean, before I step in?
Yeah, definitely. You have to weigh out every situation. You know what I mean? I'm not the type of person that like to just jump in some shit being wrong. You know what I mean? I want to establish, you know, turn that shit over all kinds of ways to see. You know what I mean? That was one of the things, like with Biggie and Tupac back in the day. You know, when I was asked to mediate that situation, I couldn't do it, you know what I mean, in a stand-up situation where I felt good about doing it, because it was just some things I would have done differently.
Prior to it getting to that point?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, or even after it even happened, after he was shot. There was a lot of missing shit. So if it's shit like that, then, you know, I'm wise enough to, I can't be no crash dummy.
Right, and you've been around and been established as a respected person since through all of the eras of hip hop. Right. Like since the 80s and 90s, and you've seen
2000s.
the 2000s, the transitions, and all of these beefs and things that have gone on. So, like now with the youngins and the youngsters with this internet, which has changed the entire game, when, you know, motherfuckers is just putting the phone up. Yeah, bitch, look at the gun right here. I'm gonna shoot the shit out you. Like, do you even feel the need to even get involved in this type of stuff now? Because, you know, the internet has changed what respect, at least in my perspective, has changed the level of respect, because people aren't as influenced by what you may have laid down. They're more influenced about what them people gonna say in them comments on that Instagram.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a different day, and that's the reason a whole lot of them dying, because of that internet. You know what I mean? The information where power is concerned right now is, this would have happened back in the day if it was like that. You know what I mean? If everybody knew where this person was that they wanted to hit or get at by punching a button, it'd have been a bloody mess. You know, even back then.
I think it would have been worse back then because
I
you really
agree.
had to be what you said you was.
I
back
agree.
Then. Now
I
you
agree.
don't have. You just got to be surrounded by some people who do the things that you say.
Yeah.
Back then, I feel like, you know, just growing up in the environment I grew up in, you wasn't just able to say shit and walk around. Now we don't see about that. So now it's like you can put insurance on yourself with the internet. So it's like, do you feel like it's something like if somebody make a call and say, "Hey man, my chain," and then they got it all on the web, they talking like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this, that, and the third," but in the background they calling you to fix it. Do you feel like even if they family or friends, you'll still intervene in that, or is that one of the situations where you would say, "Nah, I'm straight"?
Well, it depends. You know what I mean? It depends. You know, if one is campaigning for the laws and different things, then y'all handle that with the laws.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if it's some things that's under the radar that can be done without, jeopardizing myself or family, then that's cool. Right. Yeah, so it's gonna be done with wisdom. But being from where you from, DC, yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, DC, man, that's one of my hottest markets.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. We love to get old boy. Like I said, I seen Scarface. I worked at a barbershop. I started working when I was 9 years old as a brush boy at Bluebird's Barbershop on Georgia Avenue. And then Scarface walking up and down the avenue by himself in the 90s. I'm talking about like 98. You know what I'm saying? And it blew my mind because he was a regular dude. People was coming up to him, getting him to sign autographs, and he ain't had no security. He was just out there. So it's like the people really loved y'all in the city because the things that y'all was saying was really what was going on in our environment.
Yeah, saying and doing. And that's why it's a whole gym to get shit like Art and Science of Respect. You're going to keep going with the book series and expand the empire. What's the follow-up?
Some of the realest niggas I ever met on the planet was from DC. Yeah. You know what I mean? I got
He a real nigga. I met him, man.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? But like if you know what I mean, with the Art and Science of Respect, like he was just saying, do you feel like it's more game that you can give out?
It's got to be.
Do you feel like that's the best way to do it these days, though? Do you feel like it could be presented in a way where the youth will get it a little
Hell
bit
yeah, he got the audio book too. If you don't want to read and you a hard-headed nigga, just listen. Yeah. Shit, you can't. If you fucking up if you don't want to read or listen. If you gonna do one or the two.
Yeah, and ain't no speed reader either.
No, it's very relaxing and calm.
It's relaxing, but I mean the attention span of now is 15 to 60 seconds. Yeah, that's the attention span. If it ain't in 15 to 60-second intervals, it's hard to keep a young person's attention. You know, I got a 12-year-old daughter, and she just, you know, I mean, Dad, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this, and I'm like, okay, well, let me figure out the last thing I looked at before you move on to the next thing. So, just the way the information is consumed now, do you think that, or would you even care to change the approach and get the information out?
Yeah, I adjust to different ways of communicating all the time. You know what I mean? But I think, some things like book, audio, that's gonna be there forever for those who, can embrace that. You know, like I say, everybody elevator only go up, to a certain level, and you have to figure out ways, how to communicate with them. Now, with me, it may be hard for me to communicate with a man his elevator stop on the second floor. You know what I mean? Because my shit
go all the way to the top.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So somebody else may have to talk to him.
Yeah.
I heard you say something earlier that I want to backtrack. I don't know if I caught this, but you were talking about the spiritual gifts and the natural abilities. Yeah. Could you speak on that? Because a lot of people gonna hear that and they gonna want to know more about that. Like a lot of trusting your intuition and believing in yourself and things of that nature. Yeah.
Well, I knew that 7 or 8 years old, some special shit was going on with me that had to come from up above because I was able to, my mind was on a different page compared to the age group I was surrounding myself with. You know what I mean? I was gifted in a lot of areas. And, you know, once I matured, I understood that, you know, what my spirit, you know, that intuition, that discernment that exists in me, I started like tapping into that and making business decisions, personal decisions based on that discernment and intuition. So I tapped into what the real power was, where that was concerned. So I nourished that relationship, you know what I mean, with my discernment, intuition, you know, my spirit-led situations versus making decisions on man-made shit, you know what I mean? So that made all the difference in the world where my success was concerned, to be able to tap into that power that was greater than, you know, all the education you can ever get.
Did something happen to make you do that? Because that can be scary, you know what I mean? One of the things that, you know, happen is your brain gonna talk inside your brain more consistently than anything that's gonna happen to you in your life. So how do you get over the fear of, man, I can't, just being afraid of your own energy?
Yeah, it's a process of your relationship with the Creator. You know what I mean? You know, the stronger that relationship is, then things make more sense to you when He's speaking inside of you. You know, to other words, to stay in darkness and to never like feed or nourish yourself from a spiritual point of view, you don't evolve on that level. But once you are able to do that, then, you know, it's like rewards come that don't come to the average.
Okay. Another one of my personal favorite moments is a video when Pimp C poured that salt on that cow's back. Was that at your ranch?
Yeah, that was at the ranch.
Poured the salt on the cow's back. I was like, goodness, now you own the ranch.
Yeah, you got to talk about
Gotta
that,
talk
because
about
it's like when you get to the level of success, whether it's 100 acres or whatever your ranch in your mind is, I feel like that's how you top it off. Like to me personally.
Yeah. No, I definitely, I have a 1,000+ acres.
There you go.
Ranch.
You see what I'm saying?
Ooh.
Yeah, like 300 head of
That's
cattle
1,000 football fields who don't know what an acre is.
Yeah, bunch of horses and different things. And I tell everybody I season my cows where they're alive. You know, I sprinkle salt on the ass and everything.
Man, that's where it came from. That nigga Pimp C hit that motherfucker with the salt. You know what I mean?
Hey, what's up? It's your man Karlous Miller. And I know that a lot of people probably watch this show as they're laying in bed. So this is where I come in to sell you some really nice sheets, okay? So check this out. I have been all over the internet trying to find somebody who can send the sheets directly to me without charging me an arm and a leg. That's when I called the good people over there in Brooklyn and was like, y'all got some sheets over there? And they was like, yeah. Go to brooklinen.com and use promo code 85South to get 10% off your first order and free shipping. Life is too short to sleep between anything less than really nice sheets. But maybe you looked up some retailers and calculated the years of interest you pay on just one set and gave up. Trust me, go check out Brooklinen. That's BROOKLINEN.com and enter promo code 85South for your 10% off your first order plus free shipping. Don't wait. Do something nice for yourself. So use the promo code 85South so you can get 10% off and free shipping when you go to brooklinen.com. I'm telling you, they got sheets on sheets and pillows and comforters and towels. I even got a robe. I'm telling you, they got everything over there. brooklinen.com, Joe. Get you some nice sheets, 1,000 thread count, 2,000 thread count, Egyptian cotton, double stitch, duvet covers. That's how I'm living. I'm telling you, go to brooklinen.com and go check out the duvet covers. Tell them I sent you. Use the promo code 85South and ask about the duvet covers. Do you even know what a duvet is? That's the bottom of the bed part when you get a duvet cover. Go to brooklinen.com and ask for some pillows to match your duvet covers just so you can show up and act like you know what you're talking about. Brooklinen. Yeah, Brooklinen.
So, like, what made you want to do that? Like, because you had already had the car dealership and, you know, you multi-million-dollar record label? Like, what made you say, you know what, I'm gonna get a ranch and get some cattle? Was that a business decision or more personal?
Get the fuck away from everybody.
It was a combination of both, but that was a dream. I started dreaming about riding to the penitentiary to visit my uncle with my grandmother, you know, just looking at land.
That's in the book.
You know, the only time I had opportunity to get out of the hood was to ride to the penitentiary. And I'm in the back seat dreaming about land. And, you know, who would have known that I would bring that to fruition? That's where the seed was planted.
You also have an island as well.
A couple islands.
Excuse me, a couple islands.
I don't mean to get all in your business and shit, but what they sell islands at?
Right.
Like if you,
Everywhere,
like say
man.
you came up on the paper, like where the fuck you buy an island at?
You know what, I researched, I went and looked at islands in Nicaragua, Costa Rica, the Bahamas, Belize. You know, I researched all of them places, man. Landing on water, in airplanes and shit. You know, looking at them islands for like a year or so before I made a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what made you want to do that? I'm sure you wasn't riding on no planes and shit to the penitentiary. You know what I mean? So what made you want to get an island?
The power of tranquility. Like I'm attracted, like all my spots, you know, I tapped into the power of having isolated spots. You know what I mean? That tranquility, that peace, and that energy you get from those spots will benefit you in your business, your everyday business decisions and shit like that. So, you know, I love that privacy and being able to walk around naked on my land if I want to.
That's what the hell Jay Prince got going on.
You hit me low. Walk around naked on the land.
It's yours.
It's yours.
Shit.
Kyle's probably like, let this nigga
Yeah,
again.
here he go again. So I wanted to go ask you this. This is crazy, right? People come to you for everything and they ask you for advice about everything. Like, who the hell you get advice from? Who you listen to? Not saying like in that type of aspect, but I'm saying like if you know hell shit get overwhelming sometime and you gotta unload and talk to somebody and get some game back from giving out so much.
Yeah. You know, I have a few friends, you know, that I respect everybody's mind and I understand that I can learn something from everybody. So, you know, I bounce things off of friends. You know, my old man, me and him used to really be tight. He's no longer here. You know, my mother and my father gone. So, yeah, I definitely do that. Me and Hoover have an opportunity to speak a lot of times.
How's he holding up?
Oh, solid. You know what I mean? One of the most solid individuals I ever met. And we're going to be bringing him home soon.
Man,
That's good to hear. That's good to hear right there.
That's necessary.
See, that as only you could.
Yeah.
How did you make that connection? You know what I mean? Like, was that prior to him falling victim to the system, or you know what I mean? Did you make it afterward?
No, that was after the fact. You know, Chicago is the first city to embrace the ghetto boys, embrace rap a lot. And when I started traveling out there, you know, I told T.I. earlier, I said he subpoenaed me to come and meet with him, you know, in a penitentiary. So I went and met with Larry Hoover in the penitentiary, and we had an opportunity to like chop it up, and we realized that we was two like-minded individuals. And you know, that's when I decided to do that intro on the Ghetto Boys album. I said, we can't keep this to ourselves. You know, let me allow this man to have a platform where his voice could be heard. And in the midst of feds and everybody threatening me not to do that, you know what I mean? All kinds of shit kicked off around that situation. We got it done.
Now, is that how you found Do or Die? Being as though you had that relationship in Chicago?
Yeah, that was part of it. But I always had like street team members in every city around the world. You know what I mean? I had a street team crew that let me know everything that started to buzz. And when that happened, I went and got Do or Die. Barry Wise, the owner of Jive Records, I got Do or Die a day before he flew to Chicago with a briefcase full of money. So while they in my office, we getting ready to sign, Barry Wise called them on the phone. I thought they were bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, one of them say, I think AK, it's Barry Wise on the other line. He said he got 100,000 cash for us and whatnot. So I said, give me that goddamn phone. 'Cause I'm thinking they trying to leverage and get more out of me, right?
Right.
And that Barry Wise, you motherfucker. I said, yeah, you motherfucker.
Click.
Hung up the phone.
Fuck off the phone, nigga. That's what it is. Like, so
Hey, what's up, man? It's man Karlous Mill over here at the 85 South Show. Some nights I am trapped in the studio and I don't know how I'm gonna get something to eat. You know what I do? I pick up the phone and open the DoorDash app. Yeah, they bring you everything, man. DoorDash has something for every lifestyle. On the go with no time to waste, order pickup and pass the line. Delivery is more than just pizza in 2020. With a selection of your favorite flavors from across the globe, you can order world cuisine from the comfort of your living room with DoorDash. So make sure you download the app and use promo code 85South so you can get $5 off your first order of $15 or more. That's promo code 85South. You've got big plans for 2020, but when will you find time to do it all? Order delivery with DoorDash and take back time in your day. We use it. We want you to use it. That's why we're giving you the promo code. And for the people who don't know what a promo code is, it's kind of like a coupon before the internet. So if you go in there and they say enter the promo code, always enter 85 South so you can get the best deal possible. With door-to-door delivery in all 50 states, Puerto Rico, Canada, and Australia, you can order from your local go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants like Chipotle, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A, and the Cheesecake Factory. Get the app. Go to the app store and get the app. You don't have it yet? While we still talk, I got food on the way. What were you saying, bro? Go to commercial.
you know, I don't know if a lot of people knew that, you know, Do or Die. Even if y'all know who Do or Die is, if you don't, do the research. But like, was that the first non-Southern act that you signed?
I don't think so. I don't think so, but it definitely was the first Midwest artist that I had signed. Yeah, West Coast. Yeah, that was West Coast. Rolling 60 homies.
CJ Mack, yeah, definitely. CJ Mack, I know about CJ Mack. Dude, Kev Mack Videos did an interview with him, man. Yeah, that's what it is. And now, you know, that's one of my favorite groups. You know, the Midwest music influenced me heavily growing up too. So, did you have a say in the content that they was putting out, or you was just like, you know what, y'all do y'all thing, I'm gonna give y'all the freedom to do what you do?
Yeah, I just rolled with the flow. You know what I mean? At the time, that was Twister and all of them was doing their thing together. So, shit, I rolled with the flow.
Let me ask you this: what do you feel like is missing from the music game on the outside, on the black side of the culture right now? We got so many outsiders, you know, being the influence. What do you feel like needs to happen for that wave to come back? The whole creative control like it was.
I think it would be a beautiful sight to see a lot of these guys unite their power and, you know, bag up from, you know, a lot of this foolishness that don't mean nothing. You know, I would like to see structure in the game to the extent where they would unite that power a little more than I'm witnessing right now, because it's almost like they becoming prey. You know, the rap game right now is a dangerous business.
Vicious cycle.
You know, and the only way, they have to put more protection on their ass. You know what I mean? Just value their whole movement more, because there's a lot of weaknesses that, you know, people are gonna take advantage of. You have to understand that, you know, when you leave your house, your objective should be to make it home safe. And in order to do that, you have to put different things in place where that happen every day.
Yeah. Something Scarface said, we in this shit so we stay true. And since we bang them, we do what OGs say do.
Yeah.
What do you think, or could you give advice to youngers about the importance of listening to your OGs? I mean, not just somebody who is saying they're OG because they older than you, or somebody that is trying to put a gun in your hand and nothing, but somebody who's really trying to help. Where, how do they decipher who to be respected, who is to be respected, and who is to be neglected?
You know, you decipher that by truth, if you recognize what truth is. You know what I mean? It ain't about listening to somebody with more money over somebody with less money. It's about listening to truth, listening to realness. And it's a thing that's called a track record that one can tap into to see, you know what I mean, how this OG have lived or what is it, you know what I mean, what happened with him. You know what I mean? That would be one of the first things that I would want to do is, you know, check that track record out. But it's so powerful to be able to embrace wisdom and to learn from somebody else's mistakes versus, you know, you having a trial and error. You know, have to stick your hand in fire to get burned to bleed that is hot. You know, so that would be my advice to them, man. Tap into some wisdom because, you know, when you live a certain length of time, you learn some shit.
Exactly.
You know? So.
And that's what I'm saying, man. That we could never replace or repay you for the time that you have spent here today. We could literally sit here and ask you this shit all day, man. And it's just know that you're one of the people that we've always looked up to and modeled our business after. And we wanted to get the chance to give you the flowers while we still could. You know what I'm saying? So this, sitting here with you and just being able to ask you these questions, you know, from, you know, listening to all these Rap-A-Lot hits, because that's what we do, just, you know, paying respect to the OGs. We really do love old school music, and then it's like, for you to be here, right here, it's just unreal. You get what I'm saying?
Because you grew up watching and listening to this voice, you know what I mean? And at a certain point, this voice was just a voice, and it was, you know, so light years away from your reality. Yeah. And then you know, for us to get to a point where our reality has been able to smash into that voice and have it sitting right next to us and talking to us is something that, you know, for anybody watching this, man, it's possible. Like anything is possible, because I know growing up, where I grew up and listening to all of the stuff that y'all put down, like I would be lying, like you said, I would be lying if I said that, oh yeah, one day I'm going. But to get to a point where it happens is the greatest feeling in the world, man. So thank you.
And then it's like just being in our own industry with the entertainment and the comedy and then this media. You know, we turned down a lot of shit just to stay independent. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's stamped in us. And you showed us the value of being independent and what longevity does when you are independent. So thank you for that, just for that lesson.
Right.
If nothing else, that's what we learned just by following your blueprint.
Being able to know that what's yours is yours, and what everything else don't matter. Yeah. You only need to get yours. Like you say, let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. And everything that's for you will be for you, and anything else you don't need to worry about. Man.
Exactly. And to all the people who watch this show and they ask us who we respect and who we get game from, it's one of those right here.
Right here.
Right here.
All the way.
If there's anything you want to say in closing and get us out of here with promo, give me one. Let me hold one.
I take the wine.
Man, give me this one.
I take the wine, Lord. And then it got a crown on it and everything.
That's
right here.
Let's celebrate that word. Let's celebrate that with a toast of loyalty, you know, in the coming holidays and for a lifetime. Let's make it a lifestyle, you know what I mean, where we celebrate loyalty with everything we do, because that's what it takes, you know, to be successful. We have to connect ourselves with some loyalty.
Well, we get to ask, what Rap-A-Lot Records got coming for 2021?
Well, you know, Brazy, for example, you know, we're cooking up on Brazy right now.
That's dope. That's what it is.
Yeah, Brazy with the family, and we're going to make some things happen with Brazy.
Get him out the street, man.
Yeah, please.
Please get him out the street.
Only man I know that took 10 bullets and still alive.
Yeah.
That
man was in jail with his own daddy.
He said, he was like, man, I shot my cousin. He was like on accident?
No, like on purpose.
That couldn't have been his first cousin. That had to be like his third cousin. You do too much shit with your first cousin. You could just fight that nigga, goddamn. Yeah. But yeah, man, I'm definitely a fan of Slim music.
We got to get the movie too. When the movie coming out?
Oh man, you know, I just heard that Denzel Washington's son wanted to play me, so I was excited to hear that. So we're gonna be moving forward on that song.
I like it. Put Pimp C in it. I want to play him. I auditioned. I got it. Trust me. You know what I mean? That's what it is. But yeah, man, thank you, man. This is
All
beautiful. We get to
good,
keep this?
Yeah. Y'all keep all of them.
Making sure, you know.
Yeah,
I
all good.
definitely-
I got some books too. So
Well, look, that's
have my
exactly what
book.
I was about to get at.
like
I
to
do
leave
have
my
a
book.
copy of the book, and I have the audio book. I gotta have a signed copy
All
of the
good.
book.
I got you.
And if you ever need anything from the 85 South Show, you don't never have to say it 2 times. I bet you that.
Yeah, it is.
No, sir.
85
No courtesy
South.
call necessary. We got it. Lord.
You see it here first, folks. 85 South Show, legendary episode, J Prince, Rap A Lot Records, all of that. I'm Karlous Miller.
I'm Chico Bean.
And you
J
know,
Prince, Mob Tide.
come on,
Lord,
let's get it.
You dig? God damn, boy.